Hello everyone. For this activity I have decided to talk about the current moment that the whole humanity is living. For me it's really sad to realize the lack of principles and moral values that you can find in most people and almost the totality of institutions and organizations, no matter what kind of activity they engage. Nowadays, the human being has a worse behavior than animals. It's also when you watch or listen to news, get to know the amount of atrocities and injustice that people and most institutions make against other people. Most people in the world are very poor and homeless. At present, there are around 7,000 million people in the world, which about 3,000 millions live with less of $2 per day. I ask myself, what a person can buy with a dollar for his or for his family each day? It's something worrying and sad, because while this is happening, there are other people who don't know what to do with the huge fortunes they have. It's unbelievable how some artists, sportsmen, politicians, and business people have expensive vehicles, mansions, and so on around the world. Although some of them help poor people, it's not enough. It's like if a human being were not brothers to help each other. Really, there is a big difference among a little amount people who has much money and most who doesn't have enough for living. The above is talking about only economic topic, but if we talk about solidarity, charity, or something like that, the situation is no better. For example, intolerance is something very common everywhere, every time, and in almost the whole of the people. Today, people can see that someone else needs help, and most of them don't help. Nowadays, you can be victim of intolerance when you are walking, when you are in the street, driving your car, in the bus, or anywhere. For example, it's sad. This is really sad for me. For example, last Saturday, Colombian team soccer started his participation in the World Cup soccer in Brazil. Colombia won 3-0 to Greece. That is good, but the whole country celebration were pretty noisy, and the consequences were really sad. For example, in Bogota, there were 9 people murdered and 15 injured by the alcohol and intolerance. It's only a small example about the situation, but it's not only in Colombia. It happens in the whole planet. People kills people for any little thing. We don't know the value of each human life. But the question here is, why human beings behave worse than animals? I believe that the problem comes from the lack of education on value, on moral and spiritual principles. It's by part of schools and parents. And something that really affects and influences in human behavior are media. Through music, movies, video games, and so on, media had become this generation in the most violent that has existed. Most people do not respect the rights of others. People do what they want, where they want, when they want, and how they want, without care if their acts are affecting their neighborhoods or any other person. In general, I think that in the present moment we are living in a world where the only important for each person is himself. And the sadness of this situation is that day by day it's worse. Through the years, human being is becoming less human and more animal. Hopefully soon happens something that changes us in absolutely all our priorities, something that makes human being understand what a human life is, so that humanity will leave a better world to future generations. Well, that is that I have to say. Thanks so much for listening to me. Bye and God bless you.